We are going to have a presentation here with Jamie Franklin, who works in partner development, as well as Rob Houston, who is the Senior Solution Consultant for hybrid video. As a reminder, we do have a Q&A, just in case anyone's joining us for the first time. There's a Q&A button there. Go ahead and engage it and ask questions. We do make sure that our presenters go ahead and address each question, and we are monitoring that Q&A box constantly. And of course, we will be having a giveaway at the end, and Jabra was actually generous enough to give us a grand prize giveaway. So we've got not one, not two, not three, but 4 different items that will be given to one lucky individual. So thank you so much again, Jabra. I'm going to have you take it away, Jamie and Rob. Thank you so much for being here.
Cool, thank you. Just load this up and away we go. Well, good evening, good afternoon, and greetings from Chicago, where we are immersed in color and rain. It's been a pleasure to be here with you for the LightWerks annual virtual trade show today. We've seen some awesome presentations, and since we're the last ones up, I really appreciate y'all hanging in there, and thank y'all for your time. My name is Jamie Franklin, and I'm Partner Development Manager for the West. And with me here today is Rob Houston, Senior Solutions Consultant, Hybrid Video Group, and he'll be speaking to you about our video solutions in just a few minutes. We're very lucky to have Rob. In fact, we've been adding many outstanding people to our video team as we continue to turn up the volume on our video solutions. So let me just provide you with a quick overview of Jabra, and then I'll turn it over to Rob to discuss the PanaCast Video Solution Series and a bit of Q&A at the end. So a little bit about us, an amazing history. We were founded in 1869. We have over 150 years of insight and innovation. We have 7,000 employees globally and market our headsets, hearing aids, and video solutions in 100 countries. During our 150 years, we've had a lot of firsts in the market, such as first ultra noise cancellation microphone, first headset for conference calls, and the first Bluetooth headset. And now, fully tested and approved, the Jabra PanaCast 50 is the first front of the room solution for intelligent speaker on MTR. And along the way, we've acquired some great companies like VXI, Blue Parrot, Altia Systems, which is rebranded as PanaCast, and most recently SteelSeries, which is a cutting-edge gaming company. So for those of you who've never heard of Jabra or GN, GN is our parent company. We're based out of Copenhagen, Denmark. And under the GN umbrella, we have our sister company, Resound, who makes hearing aids, the consumer side, which is mostly Bluetooth devices, wireless earbuds for music. And then, of course, our enterprise side of the Jabra business, which includes audio and video solutions. Just a quick slide showing our enterprise product portfolio and the use cases they fit into. As you can see, we have the right devices for almost any use case you encounter. Of course, the theme here today and our focus is the future of video conferencing. And while our reputation was built on audio, we also have some incredible video devices we're excited to discuss. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Rob to discuss our PanaCast solutions. All yours, Rob.
Thanks, Jamie. I'm going to start presenting, so I should be stealing the screen from you. And thanks for hanging in there with us. What an awesome day. I've been in and out between meetings, and really fun to hear what everybody's up to. And so we're glad to be able to talk about this. So, Jabra, we think about, the world and where people, knowledge workers, people throughout their daily lives are more and more working all these different locations. I was brought in because of my video background. So we're going to focus in on the office today and focus in a little bit on the meeting rooms, where our PanaCast 50 solution series now, this growing portfolio of PanaCast 50 solutions, has gotten a lot of traction here in the last, call it 24 months. And is more and more seeing increased traction, where we're, talking more and more, and just, not only are we getting more and more attention and open conversations with companies looking to deploy Teams rooms and Zoom rooms, or still looking for great video solutions for, custom room designs, but we're continuing to improve on the product that we launched going on 2-3 years ago with the Panicast 50. So want to talk about kind of what we've done and what's now hitting the market. But when we think about this, what does it mean, the Panicast 50 experience? It starts with audio. This is a long, as Jamie mentioned, a long-standing strength for Jabra, and something that's near to my heart with past roles at other companies that I've worked at. Again, I've been at Jabra about a year, but previous to that have been around in the video conferencing and audio space here for the most of the last decade. And as we know, I think Gary said it earlier, you can have a good meeting with poor video quality, but good audio quality. The opposite is not true. So for the Panicast 50 experience in small and medium-sized meeting rooms, again, we look at rooms 18, 20 feet deep, the classic small room, where our audio is really tuned to do a great job of helping foster two-way communication with people in the room and people outside of the room joining remotely, with a bar that does not require additional components throughout the room. So audio is number one. But our differentiator, the thing that has really helped the Jabra now with Altea Systems is the intellectual property that came into Jabra from Altea Systems. That combination is really around this this idea of a camera at the front of the room that can do and provide a full 180-degree field of view in those meeting rooms, which more and more often we saw this years ago, even the rise of the bullet table or the D table, where in small rooms tables were pressed up against the wall where the display is. But those front two seats were quite often unable to be on camera. Those two seats were sort of, I'll say, no man's land. They were the seats that got occupied last if people actually wanted to be on camera, visually present in the meeting it was happening. Or maybe it's where people like me who are a bit shy back when I was still going to an office every day would gravitate towards those seats so I could just kind of lean back from the table a little bit and not be on camera. So with the Panicast 50's 180-degree field of view, those first two folks on the left and right, not only are they on camera, but they look natural when they're looking at themselves in the room's local view. They look correct. They're not heavily skewed. They're not sort of half cut off where they got to make a decision. Do they lean closer to the neighbor next to them to get on camera, or do they lean away and kind of disappear from the meeting? So this visual experience has been a huge differentiator for us. And again, it's gotten a lot of doors open, helped us with a lot of traction. This is also opening up more and more ideation around room design. So again, the obligatory, we did it too, guys. We had the front row layout represented in our slide deck. So another gold star for this, this new turn the room sideways room design. But again, why did we get there? We were sort of the camera that as our friends in Redmond were thinking about these different room designs. How can they start with a bit of a clean sheet? We were sort of the camera that could actually do a good job of actually catching the entire arc of people seated at a table, even those on the outside, and have them within the intended field of view of our camera array, versus trying to figure out how far away does the table need to be able to get the entire width of the table in scene. Okay, so this is kind of the what the Panicast 50 experience has meant. But I want to just drill in just a little bit into experiences, the actual some more details on the types of things that we're doing and have done since we launched the product to expand on some of the things that our customers are able to get out of their meeting rooms. And in particular, you're going to hear me talk a little bit about features that are specific to the Microsoft Teams rooms on Windows solution scenario. This is a lot of what my job is as a pre-sales consultant, is asking customers, how do you want your rooms to work? What are people going to do? How are your users going to book the room? What do you want them to do when they walk into the room? More and more, I think, for people on this call, I think the answer is more and more leading towards Teams rooms and Zoom rooms as a natural and easy way to expand two of the more popular collaboration platforms with an experience that looks familiar to people who are in Teams and Zoom all day on their desktops or on their mobile devices. When they walk into a room, they have a familiar experience, and it's the intended expansion of that experience in the meeting rooms. When we first launched the Panicast 50, what do you do with a 180-degree field of view? You do what we call intelligent Zoom, where we do group framing, right? You don't want it to be always the entire 180-degree strip if there's only two people in the room. So the first thing you do, obviously, is group framing, crop into the people who are in the room. We also, again, there are those rooms or those companies who have the subset of rooms where more of a speaker highlight mode is the desired camera behavior. So we have what we call virtual director. That is essentially when nobody in the room is talking, you see everyone. When someone starts talking, you see them, and you lose the context for the rest of the people in the room. So we have that mode as a visual experience that can be enabled on our cameras. What we brought about a year ago was, we've seen more and more this attempt to unanonymize people when they go to work, when they go to the office, when they decide to take the meeting in the meeting room, to not have their presence in the meeting where, in the actual Teams meeting in the cloud or the Zoom meeting in the cloud where the meeting now happens, right? It used to be that the meeting was in the room, and if you joined remotely, you were out, you were secondary. Now the meeting is in the cloud. If you're in a room, you actually have the worst seat. So again, we've all thought about what can we do to help with that presence, meeting equity, but also just that presence of how do we not have people be shrunken into obscurity when they are in the camera feed of an entire meeting room. So we announced about a year ago and shipped what we call dynamic composition. This is our take on, call it a grid view. We can do up to 2x2 cropped view layout of up to 4 people. And if there's more than 4 people in the room, we will prioritize the 4 most recent talkers. How do we do that? We know if there's 6 people in a room, our microarray can tell us which of the things that we see that we know are people are the things that are talking. So we prioritize who those people that would be seen in our grid. And again, that's just a single video stream that goes over the USB cable, and then whatever is the thing that has joined the meeting, whether it's somebody's laptop or a Teams room or a Zoom room, that's the view that people outside the room get of the people in the room. So those are things that our customers have had all along, and dynamic composition represented, additional value by way of a firmware update to the PanaCast 50. We just shipped a new firmware release, and Jamie mentioned it. We'll talk a little bit about this more in detail, but we just brought out a firmware release that has now made the PanaCast 50 a Microsoft intelligent speaker. We'll talk about what that means. We also enabled a feature we call intelligent meeting space, essentially video framing. I'll show you a quick little 30-second video that kind of shows the where and the why of what this new capability that our IT administrator or AV manager customers can establish or set up in their environments to help the PanaCast 50 behave and perform as highly as possible in their spaces that more and more often include a glass wall. And then the last thing that we'll talk about is an enhancement coming soon by the end of the year for dynamic composition that's really tuned towards a hot topic for Teams rooms on Windows. So starting with intelligent speaker, again, in the past, we've had a couple puck type devices that Microsoft called intelligent speakers. It was a device certification. It was a category. What did it enable? For the most part, for customers who have been using the ability to have their end users opt into voice recognition, what it meant was if I go to a meeting room and there is a transcript being taken of a Teams meeting and I speak, today, or without an intelligent speaker, when I talk, the meeting room, the transcript reflects that meeting room 5 said what I said. I'm anonymized. With intelligent speaker, again, that's more like intelligent microphone, but we won't go back and rethink the nomenclature. With intelligent speaker devices and an organization that has opted into using this voice recognition and all the things that you do on the M365 tenant side to enable this. For instance, what you see here is even though Adi is in a meeting room, when he speaks, his contribution to the meeting is actually tagged to his name. So this helps with transcripts, being able to track if you're the person that couldn't make the meeting that day to go back to know who said what. But more and more with all of the momentum building around Copilot and what AI can do with smart meeting recaps and follow-ups and things like that, it's even more important that we know who said what, who caught what action items, who committed to doing something, that the smart recap needs to reflect that and not have that same detail be anonymized just because I happen to be in the meeting room that day instead of at home, where if I join a meeting, I'm logged into my desktop client. It knows Rob said everything that I said. So again, this is a new functionality that we've been working with on Microsoft to get the Panacast 50 USB video bar approved for, so that when it is the audio and video accessory to a Microsoft Teams rooms on Windows system, that it can be configured to support this functionality. The outcome is the ability to really have meeting rooms participate in not just smart meeting transcripts, but also now with Copilot and Smart Recaps. I mentioned intelligent meeting space. So what does this mean? Essentially, this is, I'll cut to the chase. It's essentially video framing. So meeting rooms with glass walls. We talk about open spaces, but again, we're not doing the audio fencing that would keep, you know, background noise from potentially impacting the audio experience. So for me, when I talk to customers about this, it's really around those glass walled rooms, whether it's an executive's room where an assistant is usually sat just outside the glass, and smart cameras like ours don't know that there's glass between the room and that person that's seated right outside. So that person is always framed too. Or more often, you know, more commonly probably is, you know, meeting rooms with glass walls where people in the hallway make the cameras react. And the negative outcome there is that, you know, if we're at home and we're paying attention to the people in that meeting room, we're getting additional motion that occurs. It causes you know, again, everybody that's worked on a camera that does automatic framing knows you can overdo it. You do not want to have unnecessary motion because it can cause unintended consequences for the end users who are trying to, the far end, who are paying attention to that camera stream. So this is one of our meeting rooms in our Copenhagen HQ. You know, great meeting room, nice big atrium outside our front of room. So you can see on the top left what happens when we don't have intelligent meeting space set up, and on the bottom right when it is. So I'll just go back a little bit. People seated out in the lobby, the camera's framing them, doesn't know any better. With intelligent meeting space set up, those people out in the lobby are ignored. Similarly, people walking by causing that camera to zoom out for a moment, and then they go out of feed and go back to the people in the room. The gentleman is now just kind of pacing around on his cell phone, thinking he's, you know, being, you know, low key in the lobby, but is otherwise impacting the experience of the meeting that's happening in that room with no knowledge of that. So again, that idea of being able to set up and tune the width and the depth that the camera should really care where people are, and if they're beyond that, ignore them. It's not a virtual background. If somebody is, this is my friend Valdemar here on the far left, if somebody's standing next to, you know, out behind the glass, we're going to see them. But if Valdemar's not seated in that seat, it won't be reacting to people in that part of the view. So that's intelligent meeting spaces. Again, the idea of reducing the impact of non-opaque meeting room boundaries. Okay. The last thing, and this is a feature that's coming in a firmware release that we will have out before the end of the year, is the expectation. You know, don't shoot the messenger if it's not there, but that's the plan. Is in our what we call VP5 Value Pack 5 is we call our firmware releases that have new features value packs here at Jabra. So VP5 for the Panacast 50 will build on what we did initially with single stream dynamic composition. This mode is available today. You put the camera into dynamic composition video mode, and the far end from a meeting room with that P50 will get that kind of 2x2 grid. With our new firmware release before the end of the year, we will enable a new Jabra camera mode called multi-stream dynamic composition. The reason you should care is that mode will allow our camera to power multi-stream and teleframe when deployed with a Microsoft Teams Rooms on Windows system. Why is that important? Now we're seeing the outcome there is that people who have joined a meeting with a Microsoft Teams Room, this is kind of the view you would see in your desktop client on the far end. Those three video streams will come out of the meeting room, and you'll see a pano of the whole room. So you'll be able to see context of where people are located within the room. And additionally, you will see two highlight views of, again, the two most recent talkers. So this idea of us handing three video streams, we can do the processing on those streams. We can do that at high resolution before it has been sent over a USB cable and before it's been sent to the cloud. We're handing three native video streams to the Teams Rooms on Windows app that then gets sent out to the meeting. So three streams from the meeting room. And again, an even better solution, in my opinion, to the challenge of, you know, presence of equity for people who are in a meeting room, where not only do we get to see, this is actually my boss, Ollie. If I was in the pano and Ollie was giving me all the work to do, people outside the room would visually be able to see that Ollie was sending the work my way. In addition to being able to get a closer read on Ollie, because if he's the one talking, he'll get this this more elevated position within the meeting. The other nice thing is again, I haven't seen the final implementation, but this is the mock-up we've been sharing. My understanding is this will be kind of how it shows up. So those 3 squares coming out of that Teams room will be lumped together in the gallery. So again, from a an understanding of context perspective for people on the far end, it'll be clear this bigger frame in the gallery is from the meeting room, and it makes sense what's in there because it's bunched together, where other individuals joining into the meeting will also be individual, but be kind of in a separate section. Okay, so that's multi-stream dynamic composition. That is our mode and our firmware update that will power and enable us for multi-stream IntelliFrame and Teams rooms on Windows. So those are the experiences I wanted to talk about today. Things we started with, things we've added in the past, things we've added most recently, things that are going to be here before the end of the year. And again, the series, this is kind of the first device that we launched 2 or 3 years ago. The Panicast 50 is a USB video bar. We've gotten all this traction in Teams rooms and Zoom rooms, right? So that device remains for sale as a standalone video bar. You can deploy this with Teams room systems that you already have deployed, but you want to upgrade the video bar at the front of the room to something that can bring on some of these new experiences, or do it in BYOD. Deploy it with a room design that's all your own, where you're solving for what is the computer at the other end of the USB cable. This is our a la carte peripheral that you can do what you need to do with to make your rooms work the way you want them to. We got feedback from customers that said, we love the Panicast 50. We don't want to go shopping. We just want to get it in an MTR package or a Zoom room package. So we worked with Lenovo to create Jabra Panicast 50 room system. And it is essentially an all-in-one SKU from Jabra that has the Panicast 50 along with Lenovo's core compute and ThinkSmart controller device all in one package. So we sort of have a Teams room or a Zoom room in a box with the Panicast 50. The deployment scenario that gets unsolved for here is appliances. Zoom room customers going towards Zoom room appliances, Microsoft Teams rooms customers who are looking at the all-in-one bars that do not require a standalone compute device as part of the system, the Teams rooms on Android. For that, we had to make to do that, we couldn't just slap an Android card inside the device that we had. We had to make a new Panicast 50, and that is just now kind of hitting the market and becoming seeing better availability of distribution. So this is kind of the newest edition of the Panicast 50 series, the Panicast 50 video bar system. So this is, again, an all-in-one. It's the really consistent experience. Some of the things that I talked about today will come in the future to this device. But again, that 180-degree field of view, audio and video built for rooms up to 18, 20 feet deep. But this is sort of, if you like the Panicast experience, but you are doing an Teams rooms on Android, a Zoom room appliance, this is the option. And yes, we include a Panicast control panel in the bundle with this device at the MSRPs listed there. They're both based on Android. The Panicast 50 control is PoE powered, so just one network powered Ethernet connection for network and power. The devices come paired from the factory. All kinds of good details for us, for those of you interested in this, to follow up with your Jabra representative, Avin, and get a chance to talk to me or one of my teammates. So that's it. That's 10 minutes left until the end of our slot. Hope that's enough time for Q&A, and that this information was interesting and helpful for everybody that stuck with us here to the end. Jamie, do you got any comments as we close up, or Nicole, do you want to come on and help us wrap it up?
Yeah, sure. Jamie, do you have any further comments?
No further comments. Are there any questions?
Okay, thank you so much. We do have some questions here. Are Jabra products TAA compliant?
We do have a TAA compliant. I didn't mention our webcams. We have a TAA compliant Panicast 20 webcam, but our video bars are not TAA compliant.
Thanks so much for that.
Yeah.
Are there adjustments available to the auto framing cameras, such as speed of framing and pan, tilt, zoom?
Yes, good question. So both the USB and our new video bar device, for modes like intelligent zoom, the kind of the group framing, you can adjust speed and sensitivity of the framing. We also, there are There are customers who standardize on these devices beyond rooms that have like the tables up against the front of the room wall. So we also can manipulate how wide is the field of view. If there's a room that doesn't need the full 180 degrees, that can be adjusted as well.
Thanks so much. You know, it is actually, we have quite a couple more prizes that we are going to give. So, well, we don't have any more questions at the moment. It works out because we have 2 extra prizes from Jabra. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again.
I pre-answered them all. It's not because we're at the end of the day. I just knew
was
exactly
quite
what
an
to say.
informative. It was quite an informative presentation. Thanks so much to Jamie and to Rob. We absolutely loved having you. Terrific presentation, and we are very fortunate because Jabra was generous enough to provide us with the grand prize. But before we give out our grand prize, we're actually going to give out 2 more prizes, so you can help us out with that. We've got another 2 Brightline Zelo desktop studio lamps. So if you don't mind, please, if one of you could call out another number between 1 and 150.
Rob? Okay, 52, which is 25 backwards, which is the day today.
Thanks so much. Okay, great. So the winner of the first desktop studio lamp is number 52, Adam Fineglass. Congratulations, Adam. All right, if you can pick another one, please. Another number, Jabra.
First, I'll unmute. See, you get this, you're stumping the sales. So for Portland, Oregon, I'll go with 22 for Clyde Drexler. We have 22 yet today?
No, just checking my list over there. Nope, nobody's called 22. Let's go ahead and cross-check that with, Pearl Sue. Congratulations, Pearl Sue. You are the winner of the second Zelo Desktop Studio Light. Again, studio quality lighting from any desktop, soft adjustable lighting. This is terrific. Congratulations. And now it's the moment that we have all been waiting for. Again, Jabra was our last presenter. We saved the best grand prize for last, and they've generously provided us with a Panicast 24K video conferencing camera, Speak 275 speakerphone, which is a really neat device. I mean, it basically, it's a pocketable device for coffee table conferencing, dining room dialing, hotel hot desking, any kind of meetings. So super, super exciting. Some Evolve 2 earbuds, excuse me, and the Evolve 2 65 Flex earphones. So this is a package prize. You get all 4 items. I don't know if you want to mention anything about these prizes before we go ahead and call out that number.
Somebody's stoked. That's all I have to say. It's going to be a really good package for y'all. What more can I say? I can talk until I'm blue in the face on these. We can do that another time. So let's just get to the winner here.
Let's get the party started, everyone. All right. So if you don't mind, please picking another number between 1 and 150. This will be our grand prize winner of the day. Let's go.
Well, I got to get Michael Jordan in there somewhere since Clyde Drexler came up. So we'll go 123.
123. And no, that has not been picked yet.
Got a thumbs up from somebody.
123 is Rafik Gugosian. Rafik Gugosian. Congratulations to Rafik. You are our grand prize winner. That is excellent. Thank you so much for this prize, and thank you so much for your presentation. It is beyond appreciated, Rob and Jamie. Wow. What a day. Thank you, everybody. Fun fact, the very first LightWerks virtual trade show was a product of the pandemic, and never in a million years did we anticipate that we'd be continuing to reach out to our incredible customer base in this way so many years later. And again, this is our 4th annual trade show. We're so grateful to be able to connect with so many of you in this way and be able to include our manufacturer partners in such an informative, and exciting way through this experience. LightWerks has been in business for over 26 years, and we really do pride ourselves in connecting people and creating these state-of-the-art spaces for communication and collaboration And we could not have done this without our loyal customer base, and we certainly could not have done this without our manufacturer partners. So very, very special thank you to our premier partners, Crestron and Neat and Starin and Sharp NEC, and to all of our manufacturer partners who came together and helped us put together this incredible virtual trade show, the future of video conferencing. We could not have done this without you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to our customers. Thank you to our manufacturer partners. And a very special thank you to Marielle Waller. Marielle Waller is our marketing manager here at LightWerks, and she is the reason that this ran so smoothly. She's been in the background texting and making sure that I don't mess things up. And just kind of being the executive producer of this entire event, making sure our manufacturer partners were contacted and our attendees were given all the information, and just being an incredible organizer. So thank you to Marielle. Thank you to all who attended and who made this a great, terrific day. Again, we are LightWerks, and we are so happy to have been on this full day future of video conferencing virtual trade show journey with you. Thank you for attending. Thank you for giving us your time. And we are so looking forward to next year. You can look forward to video on our website. You can, in the next few days, we will be posting the presentations, and you can also feel free to check our social media channels. Our website is www.lightworks.com, and yep, continue to follow us on social media. We update pretty regularly, and we love what we do, and we love connecting people. And thank you, thank you, thank you again for attending. Have the very best rest of the day.
Before you sign off, I just think it would be unfair to not thank you for your outstanding planning and execution of everything related to this event. And congratulations to you two ladies, and thanks as well to everybody who joined, and all our vendor partners. You know, it is a ecosystem that we're proud to be a part of between you know, our vendors and our customers. We consider ourselves partners to all the above, and really appreciate you spending time with us today. But thank you, Nicole, and thank you, Marielle, as well. Wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.